You go further, and then you can begin. And then somebody that can run the other side. One here. Careful running on the concrete here. If the ball comes, don't panic. Okay. And let's go over there. That's why you go over there.
Fans here just getting ready for kickoff. Conditions look pretty good, but of course these two teams will be used to the conditions here as the island nations typically play in hotter weather and some challenging climate. Wind is not too strong today in Barbados and Bridgetown.
Testing. Yeah, testing. 1, 2,
this will
1,
actually
3.
be
Testing, 1, 3.
Montserrat's third game of the Concacaf Champions League.
Mary had a little lamb.
2 games.
Its fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. Testing 1, 3. Testing 1, 3.
Both of these two teams competing in what is match day 1 of the Concacaf Nation League. Barbados coming off a win against Antigua 2-1 in their last match back in Sunday. Of course, it'll be the goal of both of these two teams in League B, Group B, to get out of their league and win promotion to Group A. You'll notice that in these early stages, some of the Concacaf heavy hitters, Canada, USA, Mexico, are not appearing as their placement in last year's Nations League has actually earned them direct placement in the quarterfinals. So we'll be seeing those just yet.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Montserrat. Please remain standing for the national anthem of Barbados. Ladies and gentlemen, your starting lineups for tonight's game for Barbados. In goal, number 18, Liam Brathwaite. Number 2, Andre Applewood. Number 5, Christian Pierce. Number 6, Jomo Harris. Number 8, Shaquan Clark. Number 9, Hallam Hope. Number 10, Yeri Gale. Number 13, Zachary Ellis Hayden. Number 14, Curtis J. Janet Hudson. Number 15, Shane Codrington. And number 22, Elijah Downey. For Montserrat, in goal.
Officials here are ready for the coin toss between the two captains.
Number 5, Joseph Taylor. Number 6, Nico Gordon. Number 7, Brandon Balsey. Number 9, Larry Taylor. Number 11, Jamie Allen. Number 18, Alex Dyer. Number 19, Abraham Joel Dorset. Number 20, Julian McDonald. And number 22,
and we see the Barbados team huddling here.
The referees for today's match.
We see the Barbados lineup here, really looking forward to seeing Liam Brathwaite, Captain Jomo Harris. We see some other stuff in the bottom, but I think it will be exciting to see some of these younger players take the lineup for the first time for Barbados. Looking to Montserrat, their captain, number 9, Lyle Taylor, plays for Nottingham Forest. Currently Montserrat's top goal scorer with 10 goals since 2015. We'll be excited to see what he can do. And we are now underway here in Bridgetown, Barbados. Expect to see a really physical game between these two. Many of the players from the Barbados side have experience playing in the Barbados League. However, many of the Montserrat players do play in some of the lower leagues in England, and we do expect, as we just see here, to see a really physical game between these two. We'll have to see how lenient or not the refs are being with some of the fouls and physicality in this game. Both of these teams currently sitting in Group B, League B. Montserrat having been promoted after their trials in League C last year. And that's a pretty cheap foul to give away by Barbados, number 8. Again, some fouling from Barbados on the Montserrat team. This refereeing team from Antigua is calling everything at the beginning, perhaps to set that early match tone. Ball intercepted by Montserrat. See if they can do anything here as they kind of close down on the Barbados goal, and they'll have to recycle it back. Definitely a bit more of a scrappy game in the beginning. Both teams still trying to just get that rhythm going. Bit of a silly foul to be given away there in the midst of a promising attack by the Barbados side. And I think that may just be the Montserrat team's first shot on goal, albeit something of a light touch. And Barbados going down the left side of the ball, having them their own shot on goal. Difficult to say if that ricocheted off the post or a player, but very soon after Montserrat's first shot, Barbados is trying to register their own shots on goal.
He heads it out. Montserrat number 2 has the ball, knocks it to the 8. Montserrat number 2 has the ball, knocks it to the 18. Knock it back home, trying to find that opening.
Defensive mistake by Montserrat. Ended up being sort of lucky, and they sort of escape with that. And let's see if they can turn this into an attack right here. Cross it, and there is the opening goal. Well done by Montserrat's number 9. Very, very clean header from a cross-in.
Looking for that number, can't quite see what it is right now, whether it's 8 or 9. I'm just waiting to see a clear view of that player to go score. It looks like number...
A very clean goal from their number 9 and from their captain, Lyle Taylor, the youngster who qualified for Montserrat through his grandparents. We'll see this goal again as the ball is picked up in the box, cross to the back post, and actually not a header, but a very, very high kick into a goal. Right place, right time, and right moves for their number 9.
Montserrat is very happy. Very happy with that.
Number 9 in the 6th
Play resume.
minute.
Barbados, no.
Number 9 for Montserrat in the 6th minute.
Barbados, from the kickoff, will try to retaliate with their own goal, and they do. Less than a minute after the Montserrat goal, Barbados turn it around with some great football of their own, straight from the kickoff, straight from that halfway line. Very clean from the home side. Number 22, Elijah Downey, just taking it all by himself over on that left-hand side. Not even going past that halfway point since kickoff. Very quickly, Barbados level the scoring here at 1-1. Elijah Downey, one of quite a few players who play for the Barbadian football club Paradise FC, based in Dover. As mentioned before, most of the Barbados team do play their football locally. It may give them an advantage over this Montserrat team, which is slightly more dispersed throughout English football, with various players in League One, some of the divisional tiers. Mentioned previously, Lyle Taylor playing for Premier League side Nottingham Forest. Montserrat attempting to play through the lines here. Some very nice passing. And they'll try again across from this left-hand side. And the Barbados keeper having to tip that over the bar. Corner will be taken from Montserrat, number 3. A little low, not quite reaching the head of some players. And the ball will be stolen away by the Barbados left side. Retaken by Montserrat, who is then promptly fouled. And that is their another number 20, Roche. It's interesting that this is only the second game that Montserrat have played in the Concacaf Nations League, having lost last year both of their games. It'd be difficult to tell that given the way that they're playing now. Very physical, very aggressive, and moving quite swiftly through the midfield. somewhat of a high boot. But the Montserrat team is off to a quick restart. Once again, taking this down the left-hand side. Barrett has had some really good crosses in lately. Once more, can they turn and shoot? Oh, that was very close. Got some great movement in the 6-yard box. From a Barbados perspective, they really are leaving that left-hand side pretty wide open and be something for the defense to have a look at. This corner will come in again from the left-hand side. Can it be a little taller, a little higher? It's a great position, header down, but just wide of the post. Winner of today's match will have a bit of an advantage over the other two teams in the group. This Group B game, of course, being match day 1 of the 4 teams, do expect Barbados and Montserrat to be a top, if not middle contenders. Ball swung in, and again, but easy for the Barbados keeper to catch. Can Barbados use this as a breakaway? A strong tackle by the Barbados midfield that was not called by the referee. This is giving the wide side a bit of an opportunity. The other two teams in this group being the Dominican Republic and Nicaragua, both of who have certainly had some of their struggles in the past. But it will be interesting to see how this matchup works. Barbados again having a shot on goal. And pretty straightforward for the keeper, Liam Braithwaite. There's a player down for Montserrat in the box. This may have been a bit of a collision earlier when we saw a few of the Barbados players brushing the box. It looks like it's number 2, C.B. Barrett. Stretcher is out, but we are hoping that he won't need it. definitely will require some sort of hydration break for these players. The conditions in Barbados, Bridgetown right now are hot. Humidity is up. We can see the Portuguese coach, Oscar Reda, on the sideline, waving to his players, trying to get some direction. And we'll wait for the Emerald Boys of Montserrat to get back started. Long ball from the goalkeeper in the midfield. Foul on Montserrat. Shot on goal, but ricocheted off a Barbados defender. We'll wait for the players to try to get this ball. It looks like another cross towards the middle. Defense just trying to keep this ball out, and they will get it to the sideline. Barbados team will try to get it out of the back and reset here. Ooh. Difficult challenge, but the referee decided consciously not to call that. It is Barrett again on the wide side. And here he is again. Good idea for a ball, but just a little too much for that forward. It's been difficult for Barbados to really conjure any sort of attacking rhythm here. A couple of turnovers in the midfield, making it very challenging for them to get any sort of momentum. We'll see with this turnover if they're able to build some sort of attack coming down this left-hand side. Great job from the keeper to come out there, and great defending by the center back. Some of the Barbadian supporters feeling the referee maybe a bit too lenient on some of the fouls against Barbados. Would not be surprised to see a couple of cards come out here for accumulated fouls towards the second half. Good cross in. Nobody quite there at the back post, but Montserrat looking very promising with their attack. Be interesting to see when they do call for some sort of hydration break here, whether with the weather in Bridgetown, even this late in the evening at 83 degrees with the 77% humidity. So the real feel is really almost in the 90s. And although these players may be accustomed to the island weather, oh, that is a very, very high boot. That is quite dangerous by the Montserrat player, and we see number 15 from the Barbados side down. That was really unnecessary. I'm curious to see what comes out from the ref's handbook. Oof. That is a really, really high boot for, honestly, in a very kind of unnecessary position. And saw the ref give a yellow card. To their number 18, Alex Dyer.
Ladies and gentlemen, yellow card issued to number 18, Alex Dyer of Montserrat in the 28th minute.
Montserrat will again start their attack from that left-hand side, but not really able to make it too far before having to reset. Excuse me, Barbados. Ball taken away by Montserrat. Their midfield has been really outstanding this match. Keeper will come out. A little risky, but gets the job done. Their keeper, Kamani Nelson, one of the few young players that are currently unattached. Again, Barbados on the left-hand side, and this is a good ball because it had just cut back. And there's the second goal. Well done by Barbados. A couple of key passes in the box, and a score by none other than their number 10. Very exciting to see a goal from Thierry Gale, their number 10, one of the few Barbados team members that actually plays outside of the country, recently transferred to the Australian club Rapid Vienna, based out of Vienna, and excited to see what else he can bring. 3 goals in under 30 minutes in this match already, so seeing a couple holes in the defenses on both sides, but a great strike and great movement from the 21-year-old. It's 2-on-1. Barbados against the Montserrat player. Barbados will try to get it out. They're really pushing for that left-hand side. I mean, they have had some success down there, but it seems like every long ball being shot out of the back is going towards that side. I mean, at least for the last goal, it has been an effective way to get past the midfield of Montserrat, which has shown that they are capable of stringing together some clever passes. Barbados finding it just a little bit tricky to get out of here. And a foul by Montserrat gives them an easy exit to do so. Mentioned that the other two teams in this group are currently playing. Still 0-0 Dominican Republic versus Nicaragua. So it will be quite interesting to see as we're just near the 30-minute mark of this game. Quite interesting, and of course, again, that left-hand side not really working out this time. But will be quite interesting to see in the second half whether either of these teams decide to reinforce their front line or back line. Both these teams really exhibiting some attacking prowess, especially in that last third of the box, but with the Montserrat team already letting in 2 goals, I wonder if we maybe just see a change in formation that can strengthen the back line a little bit without sacrificing some of the strength that they also have in the midfield. Another injury to a Montserrat player. The structure is a bit misleading. I think they perhaps bring it out as a precautionary measure, but certainly we hope that no one will have to use it. And we see the Barbados goal here. Some really great work down that left-hand side, but the question is whether they are able to show some creativity moving in other areas of the pitch. Or will they just continue to press down the side? Interesting as well to note the FIFA rankings, although sort of at this position in the table, not really sure how much weight they'll hold. Montserrat being the lowest in the group at 179, but is not actually their lowest ranking. They were once the second lowest ranked team in the FIFA rankings. Barbados at 166, and the two other teams playing now at 149 and 150. Again, difficult to really say the significance of these rankings at this part of the table, but looking at the way that Montserrat are playing right now, hard to say that that they really have, 13 places in between them and Barbados. And that should be a foul, and it is. Slight drag back there on the Barbados number 14. Barbados try an attack on this side. Curious to know, actually, that in this Young Nations League competition, Barbados has actually only beaten one team, Antigua and Barbuda, 2-1, having lost to Cuba 0-1 in Barbados and Wildey. It is a bit challenging for some of these smaller nations to really get a lot of tournament playing time in this format. And that ball is out. Montserrat in particular has found it hard to train with some of the active volcanoes that have been on the island, making the players, actually forcing the players to play and train and practice outside of the island, which, and even host some of their games outside of the island, which definitely poses a bit of a challenge. You can hear some chatter from the coaches in the background. Orlando da Costa, the Portuguese coach of Barbados, has previously managed some other countries as well: Kuwait, Iran, South Korea, China. Definitely some of the lower ranked FIFA teams. And that cross just goes wide. So, a very international, well-traveled manager. Will be interesting to see. This is only his second year. This is only his first year as manager of Barbados. And we see there the support for Thierry Gale, the player who is currently a forward for Rapid Wien in Austria. Rapid, of course, one of the most successful clubs in Austrian professional football history. And a shot by Montserrat just hits the left post. Excellent shot from out of the box that very nearly tied the game for Montserrat. Again, crossing. Great crossing. Really impressed by this movement down the left-hand side from number 22, CB Barrett. Curious to see what the possession numbers end up being, because I don't think Barbados was expecting to see so much possession from their competition today. I think perhaps they thought they would be able to hold on to the ball a little bit more. Continue to hear a bit of chatter from the benches. The English coach, Matt Lockwood, is also relatively new to his coaching position, actually his first senior coaching position, aside from the player coach position that he took for Sutton United, his last team before retirement. His first coaching position here at Montserrat. So far, interesting to see. Obviously, as a former player for a few of the same English teams that the current Montserrat players have played in, definitely brings some of that flavor of English soccer to the team. But it will be interesting to see if he's able to get them past their first match with a win. From Antigua, just making sure that the players are within a proper distance from the ball. Expect number 5 Taylor to just hook this around to the front post. It's a little over, ooh, but it's a good header down. That ended up being a fairly good opportunity for Lyle Taylor. And another foul in almost the same place. And that will earn the number 8, Siobhan Clark, a yellow card, perhaps for a bit of accumulation as well.
Yellow card for number 8, Shaquan Clark of Barbados in the 42nd minute.
And this time, Barbados deciding to put 3 in the wall instead of 2. We'll see if Taylor can swing it around again. He will be looking for the head of Lyle Taylor. Ball in. Great positioning once more. Floats to the back, but the ref has seen a push on the Barbados defense, and a foul is given. Those have been some really dangerous free kicks for the Montserrat team. Great movement from some of the Montserrat team. Here's Barrett again. Tries to get around the defense, but gets his pocket picked. Now Barbados are coming down the line with a counterattack. What can they make out of this? Have a bit of a tendency to go backwards in situations like this, but the delay does give Montserrat the opportunity to get some of their players back as well. So a couple passes later, and they're staring at a sea of emerald green. Makes it a little bit difficult for them to get it out of the midfield, and now we see Barbados tracking backwards a little bit. And the goals they scored, we really saw them make use of that breakaway. And the ball is stolen by number 19, AJ Dorset. He will try to get across in, or perhaps a shot in. Ooh, and that's a bit of a mistake by the goalkeeper's part. Not to have taken control of that ball. Brathwaite just getting a bit lucky there. Lyle Taylor was perhaps hoping to swoop in and knock a little chip over the goalie, but was not able to do so. Since we've last checked in, Nicaragua is now up 2-0 over the Dominican Republic, with Matias Belli scoring, and 5 minutes later, Oscar Acevedo scoring again. We see the ref give an additional 2 minutes for stoppage time. This score of the Dominican Republic and Nicaragua would mean that Barbados and Nicaragua tied on points, with Nicaragua 1 extra in goal differential. These last 5 minutes, Montserrat has really just been pressing. Very difficult for Barbados to get a breakaway. They've dropped all of their players back past the halfway line. This is Brathwaite. And that's a foul. And Barzy is not very happy with that decision, but there's not too much you can do about that. Long ball forward. And that's halftime. Very physical, entertaining match. 3 goals in the first half. Very strong pressing from Montserrat. Goal by their number 9, Lyle Taylor. And 2 from Barbados from Elijah Downey and Thierry Gill. We'll see you back for the second half.
Ladies and gentlemen, the halftime score is Barbados 2, Montserrat 1. Qatar Airways is proud to be the official airline partner of the destinations worldwide with one of the world's best airlines and enjoying seamless and effortless travel experience. Be the first to watch the highlights of this game on our official YouTube channel at Concacaf.
Welcome back here to the second half of this match between Barbados and Montserrat. Currently 2-1 with goals by Barbadian players Elijah Downey and Thierry Gale, and Montserrat's Lyle Taylor scoring the one for the Emerald Boys. We do have a substitution here. Be interesting to see how this changes the formation or doesn't, but it looks like Barbados are getting ready to sub off number 8, Shaquan Clark, who did pick up that yellow card in the first half. Just waiting for the substitution to take place and the referee to go ahead with kickoff. We're also keeping an eye on the other game with the Dominican Republic and Nicaragua, which ended the first half 2-0 to Nicaragua, so it does become important when looking at who moves out of this group stage. Curious to see if goal difference will play in it at all, but I'm sure the team from Montserrat probably has an eye on that game and is wondering what they can do to win this, or at the very least salvage that 1 point. It's been a really physical game so far, and here we go with the second half. We'll see if some of that physicality continues, or perhaps if the ref will be a bit more strict as we see perhaps some foul accumulations build up, leading to some cards. The Barbadian team not with too much possession, especially towards the second half of the first half. And we'll see if they're able to perhaps string together a bit more in midfield. We know that their counter-attacking is very strong. That is how they got their first 2 goals. In contrast, Montserrat has had a couple of really good chances, one of them hitting the post towards the end of the second half. A couple of really good free kick opportunities. But it looks like the Barbadian team is going to start off the second half strong. Great bit of movement and just pure physicality there from the Barbados team down the left-hand side, but just unable to cross it back. Their number 10, Terry Gale, has definitely been one of their standout players for the team. At the age of 21, just transferred to Rapid Wien, will be playing for arguably one of the best teams, the best team, if not the best team in Austria. And that'll be a foul for Montserrat. Montserrat team are in their traditional emerald first colors, the emerald boys that they're known. And in turn the Barbados in a very classic yellow and blue for them, with Bajan tridents. Both teams have not played too many games in this Concacaf Nations League since its founding. This will only be their third game, and that is a bit of a wasted free kick from Montserrat. With Barbados losing 0-1 against Cuba and winning 2-1 against Antigua and Barbuda the last time around. But in both cases, only the 2 games played for both teams. Montserrat losing both of their games, 4-0 against Haiti and 0-0. Winless in both of their games, 4-0 against Haiti and 0-0 against Guyana. What a great ball down the side. Straight through 2 defenders. Is he able to cross it in? Oh, just across the face of the goal. 2 Barbadian players inside, but no one was able to just get that slight touch. We'll see what they make of it here. Another great ball. That is some excellent, excellent movement, but what a pass. And this will be the goal scorer, number 22, Elijah Downey, for Barbados. Doesn't quite make it over the first defender from Montserrat. And a foul was called. And the referee is not opposed to handing out some yellow cards in the early stages of the second half. Perhaps just noting in his book which players had a couple of fouls in the first half and keeping track of those accumulated fouls.
Yellow card for number 6, from Barbados in the 50.
Good effort by Montserrat. Their captain, number 9, Lyle Taylor, currently plays for newly promoted Nottingham Forest in the Premier League side. Has had a couple of loan spells in English football as well, but a younger player. He qualifies to Montserrat through his grandparents, although he was born and raised in the UK. He is the current scorer. He is the scorer of currently their only goal. So they try to make it 2 here, but it is grabbed by Barbadian keeper number 18, named Brathwaite. A little bit of pressure, but Barbados keeper able to get it away. Montserrat front line staying high. Even as a couple of those Barbados players converge. They're certainly being aggressive in the second half, perhaps continuing what end of the first half kind of did to their rhythm. Very good cross across the face of goal there. Interesting story about Wildey Turf. He has only been with Montserrat since 2015. Currently 33 years old and is their top goal scorer of all time with 10 goals and 13 caps, which is not a bad ratio. Bit of a journeyman, has had a couple of loan spells in different clubs, playing for Bournemouth, Millwall, Sheffield United, Wimbledon, Charlton, most recently with Nottingham Forest, though he was on loan at Birmingham City last year. Barbados was shouting, and there's cries for a foul in the box. Potential penalty here, but referee pays no mind. Perhaps most of those cries were from the stands. Good one too, but can he get there? He cannot. Correction, I should say, while Taylor most recently played for Nottingham Forest, he was released at the end of the season. But he does bring a wealth of experience to this Montserrat team. And we see him here chasing the ball down and eventually giving it a foul. Long ball forward by the keeper. Montserrat's still keeping quite a few players up there. And well defended. Out for a goal kick. The weather here in Wildey Turf is certainly quite unideal for soccer playing conditions, I will say, but perhaps for these island boys it's not so much of a difference. A current temperature of 84 degrees Fahrenheit, 78% humidity. See if this becomes a factor later in the game as the coaches are thinking about substitutions and fitness. And the referee comes out with yet another yellow card. This time it's on the Montserrat number 3, Louis Dewberry. It doesn't seem particularly necessary or particularly accurate. I've definitely been watching some Jack Grealish with the small shin guards. Seems to be a bit of a trend now. But unfortunately, his foul gives the Barbados team a chance to reset from a slightly better position. No set play, but number 3 will send it in, and he switched it to Andre Applewhite. Great movement by Tyrio. Very close to a goal. And Montserrat here will try to break with their number 11. Feeling the pain a little bit from that last encounter with Barbados, so they have called the medical team on. Hopefully not the stretcher again. See a replay of that. Just a bit of a pull on the shirt to drag down. I think that probably was close to a foul. Might have just hit the face on the limb as he was coming down. I'm hoping they'll show that movement again by Wildey Turf. That was some clever footwork to get around the side, down the side on the Montserrat end of the field. Jamie Allen is still down. The 28-year-old plays for AFC Telford United. And we see here some great footwork by Lyle Taylor just to get the cross in the box. Pushed away by the goalkeeper. Otherwise, it was a very, very good opportunity for Barbados. Montserrat player Jamie Allen still down. Looks like Barbados will be bringing on 2 subs in the meantime. We see number 12, Akeem Chandler. Just getting ready to make his way onto the field. Good to see Allen back up on his feet. And we'll see which of the players the Barbadian manager has decided to take off to make way. Looks like it may have been an injury to a face, perhaps a bloody nose. That has just taken the medical staff a second to clean up here and make sure that he is back and fit to play. See manager Matthew Lockwood on the side here. Perhaps a bit of confusion on the players on whether they are able to proceed and will be coming on, but the ref has asked them to restart play here, and it is a good position. Curious if this will be a decision to take short or long by the Montserrat player, and it is almost straight to goal, headed away for a corner, a Barbadian corner. Wow, Taylor just getting a little bit of a talking to by the referee. Taylor is just Taylor is just, pardon the language there, Taylor is just trying to get the referee's attention on the substitutes, but is encouraged to play on, and he does. This time the header was out by a Montserrat player, and so it will be a goal kick. And finally the substitutes are being made. For Montserrat, we'll see McDonald come off and Jermaine Meade come on. Meade the forward. And number 22. We'll see Rodney come on for number 22, as well as the Barbadian player Akeem Chandler. Jomo Harris, captain for Barbados, number 6, coming off for number 16. Number 12 as well, Akeem Chandler. So we are seeing from both sides a little bit more of a shift towards attacking, bringing on some new forwards. Curious about the decision to bring off Jomo Harris. I thought he was doing a fair job in the midfield, but oh, and a very, very good save by the keeper. Interesting to see Meade on former Arsenal Academy player that has also had a bit of a journeyman kind of career playing for Swansea, Luton. Big stretch of games for AFC Eskilstuna. Oh, and the keeper here makes a bit of an error. Very risky by the Montserrat keeper. And another foul by Barbados and a yellow card given by the referee. The player looks to be in a bit of pain with his knee. I've seen quite a few players getting yellow carded here. See this foul again. Bit cheap. Shane Codrington just on Montserrat. An attempt to give the ball to Lyle Taylor and a shot, but it's just wide of the post. Not a bad set play, but the final shot from Taylor just a bit wide. And we see there Shaquan Collymore, who just recently came on and very quickly gets that yellow card. In the 70th minute now, Montserrat just trying to get across in the box. And Barbados again with the breakaway. And that is a tough one. I wouldn't be surprised if the ref brings out another yellow card, and he does, for the player on that foul against Montserrat, which looked to be nowhere near the ball. And number 5 Taylor is still down. Let's see a replay of this. It's a sliding tackle in, and with that speed and momentum, very easily to see how that could be detrimental, damaging to the player. Curtis Jeanette Hudson getting another yellow card for the Barbadian team.
Crossing for Barbados in the 70th minute. That crossing goes to number 14, Curtis J.
Taylor will take this. It's not quite so high. He'll have another shot to get it in a slightly better position. But again, it doesn't quite reach the players that it needs to. Montserrat will recycle it back again. Sixty-ninth minute in the Nicaragua-Dominican Republic game. Scoreline is still 2-0 to Nicaragua. So that would put them at the top of the table over Barbados based on goal difference. The referee from Antigua just being a bit more stringent with some of those fouls, making sure the accumulated ones don't go unnoticed as well. We'll see Taylor try to put it in. A couple of players in the box. I'm sure he will be Oh, and that was so close from Gordon, who was just in the right place at the right time. Ball having been spilled by Brathwaite. Very close, just leans back a little too much and fires it over the goal. Brathwaite just under a bit of pressure lately. Not able to get as much control around his box as he'd like to. Another foul by Barbados against Montserrat. And missed up a good run by Lyle Taylor as well. They were just starting to see a bit of movement. Rather than asking for medical treatment, he will just attempt to walk this off so that Montserrat can get a quick restart going. Barbados don't seem to be sending a lot of players up front when they do have that breakaway. A bit curious whether we will see some more of Thierry Gale up front at this stage. Barbados has stolen the ball. Speaking of, here he is. Ball well defended by Gordon, number 6, who just a few minutes prior had a decent shot at goal for a ball that had been spilled by the keeper. Montserrat have just about 15 minutes and some change to salvage a point from this match, perhaps one of their more winnable matches in this group. Lyle Taylor with an early 6-minute goal, almost immediately followed by that 7-minute goal from Elijah Downey. And 20 minutes later, Thierry Gale scoring what is currently the match winner for Barbados. Looks like we'll be seeing a few more substitutions here. We'll be seeing number 14, Curtis Hudson, coming off. Another player that has earned a yellow card. As well as their number 9, Hallam Pope, being replaced by the number 7, Niall Reed-Stephen.
Substitution for Barbados. Number 11, Montserrat, he is number 9, Hallam Pope, and number 7, receiving two places. Number 14, Curtis J. Janet Hudson in the 76th place.
And the ball being taken away by number 7, who is not happy about that foul. Now Wildey Turf being one of the few players from Barbados who is currently not playing in the country, currently a junior at the Chicago State University, playing for Chicago State University. Great ball in. Keeper had to come out. And an attempt by Wildey Turf just blocked. Now we see having actually just transferred from Chicago State to Florida Gulf Coast University. Having played 15 matches, started 13 at Chicago State as a sophomore, 4 goals and 3 assists. Perhaps he'll find the Florida weather a bit more to his liking. He has certainly made an impression so far. And that is a short ball, Taylor to come out, and the Barbados defense to hook it away. Not the most ideal corner. I'm wondering if that was the intent or perhaps a bit of a mistake. And the Barbados team not happy with the ref at this call. The other Taylor being gone down. I think Taylor has been fouled a handful of times in the last, maybe half a dozen times in total, but it has definitely been on the brunt end of some of the more recent ones. He'll send this ball in. There are a couple in the front, and that's a great cross. One at the back end, and they do it! The second goal for Montserrat to tie the game. And that is their number 17, Adrian Clifton, who had just subbed on not a few minutes ago, tying the game for Montserrat. 2-2, Barbados Montserrat. We'll see this goal again. Taylor puts it into a great spot in the box, and we just have number 17 Clifton at the back post, unmarked, able to hook it in, and in the tangle of feet is able to get the ball into the net. Definitely, manager Matt Lockwood deserves a bit of applause and praise for his substitutions, because they've really seemed to make an impact. Wondering now if Orlando Casa is regretting bringing on some of that attacking prowess for Barbados, maybe thinking should have strengthened the back line a little bit. And here's another ball in. Great ball in. Can Taylor score this goal and make it 3 points for Barbados? Excuse me, 3 points for Montserrat. Is crying for a foul, but he won't get it. seeing the plays get much more physical in the second half. That would have been a great ball if not for the defense of the Montserrat backline.
Ladies and gentlemen, the total attendance for today's match score is 1,564. We thank you all of the fans who attended the 2023-2024 Concacaf Nations League match.
Taylor again. We'll wait and see if Clifton does get the credits for that goal, because it did bounce off another Montserrat player before going in, but I'm sure he will be happy. And that's a great pass to Taylor. Lyle Taylor puts it in the box. He somehow just manages to get around some of the Barbados players. Not the most physical, but somehow it's been quite successful for him to play around that. And Barbados here coming on very, very strong. Perhaps some of the fresh legs of Butcher that we just saw. It's exactly what Orlando Costa would have wanted from his substitutes. Just making sure the players are able to keep up with the physical nature of their opponent, the speed of their opponent, especially in this heat and in this weather. Great ability to keep the ball. Barbados number 2, Applewhite, switches the ball, hoping to generate some creative play out of his team. It's a bit difficult in this heat. 85th minute, game is tied. Seeing the teams feel very physically and mentally stretched at this point, it really is a battle of just who can get that incremental advantage. With the teams drawing, it will be Nicaragua that ends up first in this group. Foul against Barbados. Very common. See a bit of cramp in these players at this stage in the game. Both the goalkeeper and the athletic team just trying to make sure that they can alleviate some of the players' cramps. At this international break, we will see just one more game in the Concacaf Nations League. For Barbados, that will be against Nicaragua in Nicaragua on Monday. And for Montserrat, they will be traveling to the Dominican Republic. With the group format, they will be playing at minimum 6 games in this Nations League, so they will get a chance to face each of their opponents twice. Next time Montserrat and Barbados will meet will be in November. See Coach Matt Lockwood trying to give his players some instruction. Montserrat player sends the ball forward. Just trying to get their team up a little bit, but Barbados has the ball and they're trying to break. And that's a very good ball. 2-on-1, but he's not able to cross it. And that's a very valiant effort from Thierry Gale, their number 10. He's been really tremendous tonight.
I bet he adds about fucking 9 minutes.
Barbados have made all 5 of their substitutions. And we did just see the board being put up for Montserrat earlier. Difficult to say if the Barbadian substitutions have worked. I think certainly they are trying not just to be on the attack. Wow, the referee indicates 9 additional minutes to be played. Perhaps for the sheer number of yellow cards and fouls that were given. That's a shot on goal from distance. And it's not a bad one. Perhaps they are just trying to mix up the types of shots they take, and they really haven't taken that many shots from distance. 9 minutes additional, possibly due to a combination of yellow cards, injury, and quite a few substitutions. We've seen 5 from Barbados, 3 from Montserrat so far in the game. Lyles Taylor from Montserrat is just staying up there, waiting, poaching, trying to drop that shoulder and turn the minute he gets the ball at his feet. He is very dangerous. And Taylor just gets fouled. Certainly number of fouls and yellow cards very skewed against the Barbadian team. And here they're bringing the ball down the right-hand side, but Montserrat have dropped quite a few numbers back to defend this. They will want to keep the singular point. It will be their first point in Concacaf Nations League. And Barrett will just boot it away. And that's a foul against Barbados. The referee is really calling almost anything at this point. I think he is conscious of the scoreline and perhaps wants to keep tensions from rising too high. There have been quite a few stoppages in play as a result. You can see that's kind of just brought the temperature of this game down a little bit. Haven't seen too many sort of harsher reactions. Ball in was a good one. And Lyle Taylor is back defending on the ball now. Have another chance to hook it and swinging ball in. And the Montserrat, the Barbados player, just has the pocket picked. Just the one player from Montserrat, and he's not able to get the ball. They've really turned their attention to a more defensive play here. Ball hooked away. A little less than 5 minutes of additional time left for either of these teams to try to salvage a point. Ball in, but straight to the keeper, who will try to get it away after almost having the ball knocked out of his hands by a Barbados player. Barbados playing out from the back. And Montserrat, Taylor just trying, ooh, and Taylor winning his team a very important foul. And it is one of the newcomers, Ronaldo Trim, that is going to get booked for that challenge, having only played about 20 or so minutes. It's a bit silly. He comes in from behind. He takes out the legs. Truthfully, Lyle Taylor doesn't really have anywhere to go. And Orlando Costa is not particularly happy about that, because it gives the Montserrat team a very good look at goal. Liam Brathwaite just trying to get his wall set up. A fairly large wall at that. Will we see Barrett at the back post? Perhaps this time. And is this the moment for Montserrat to win their first ever game in the Concacaf Nations League? Wow, what a strike by Lyle Taylor. Straight up and over the wall and into the top right corner of the goal. That is a beauty. That is a Robin Van Persie-esque strike from, what, 20 yards out in the dying minute, in the 98th minute of a match that could win Montserrat their first ever match in the Concacaf Nations League. That is a beauty in the top right corner. What a goal from Lyle Taylor. A player that at the moment doesn't have a club, recently released by Nottingham Forest, and had somewhat of a travel through a dozen or so different clubs in England. Not only is he Montserrat's top goal scorer now with 12 goals, but he's really made history with that one. Orlando Costa is just screaming at his players to get back and defend. Excuse me, Matt Lockwood. Orlando Costa is not happy, and definitely not telling his players to defend. If this scoreline stands, it will be a really historic match for Montserrat. And that is a very dangerous foul at a very dangerous area. The referee immediately has his yellow card out. And the question becomes, can Montserrat hold on to this lead? And the players will complain that perhaps the location of this foul is on the edge of the box, perhaps in the box. Certainly dangerous. Since he's been on Akeem Chandler, he's made it really dangerous. The foul actually goes Montserrat's way, with the referee, well, now the referee giving a card for delay of game, unfortunately. It is the 100th minute, so the 9 additional minutes have passed. Will this be the last kick of the game? The referee indicates he was not ready for the free kick to be taken. Montserrat on the brink of a historic win here in Bridgetown. Will this be the last kick of the game? And it is! A historic win for Montserrat, their first ever Concacaf Champions League win. Excuse me, Concacaf Nations League win from an exquisite goal by number 9 Lyle Taylor that just rifled in the top corner of the net in the 97th minute to give Montserrat the lead. And well deserved, as the Montserrat team had really been on the front foot throughout a number of stretches, number of periods during this game. Barbados really not getting into the groove, not having that much possession. Although they did have a good couple of chances in the final third, you kind of got the feeling that they weren't really able to break through the Montserrat midfield. Thierry Gale, their star, certainly had a couple of good crosses, but perhaps just lacking a little bit of support. A couple of times, ball shot across the face of the goal with no one there in the back post to tap it in. We see the players and the coaches celebrating. It will be a very sweet victory for Montserrat. Let's look back at some of the highlights from this game. Montserrat and Barbados meeting tonight in Bridgetown. Referees from Antigua and Barbuda. This is the very early goal by Lyle Taylor in the 6th minute off of a great cross. Not a minute later, Barbados responding with their own goal straight from the halftime kickoff. A great finish by Elijah Downey. And the referee was quick to give out some of these yellow cards in the beginning. It was a very physical match. Unfortunately for the Montserrat team, this goal was not called offsides. Thierry Gale with a tremendous finish. A couple more fouls here. The yellow cards really just started flowing from this referee in the second half. It led to an impressive 9 minutes of stoppage time. In the second half, when we kicked off, again, very strong battle and very physical battle between these two sides. We can see here, this was the pull down by Jamie Allen. He was actually down for quite a few minutes as a result of this injury. I think perhaps just took a limb to the nose, ended up with a bloody nose. Was back on the pitch afterwards. A couple of substitutions from Montserrat. And a very physical grab at the goalkeeper. Here, this was another yellow card. Fairly physical challenge again. There were a couple of these great shots. This one in particular, And this was the beauty of a goal that Lyle Taylor scored to win the game for his side, Montserrat, to get their first ever win in the Concacaf Nations League. Thanks everyone for watching. Hope you have a good evening and look forward to seeing you for the next Concacaf Nations League game.